Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday stream of Starfleet Command. A little bit later than normal, but there were reasons that I couldn't quite get around in order to actually cause that to be happening. But we are here now, and we are about to get started, so I'm glad to have you here. Hello Raider, hello Rimmer, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you with us, even though we are starting a little bit late. Just going to get tea. That'll be just enough time for us to actually get ourselves involved in a little bit of a conflict by the time you get back. So let us return to our Federation versus Klingon campaign and see just what kind of damage we can do. So let's zoom out a little bit. We have partially engulfed the Klingon Empire at this point. We've managed to cut off the entire southern tip of that and is streaking our way north in order to get a little bit of damage done and maybe possibly encircle them entirely. Yes, indeed, Raider. Get ready for a battle. After all, we are a battleship, and so that's exactly what we do. Quick check of the supply yard. Make sure that we're fully kitted out with every single thing that we need. We do appear to be. So let us set out the USS Sydney to go and hunt down some Klingons and see where the damage is. Oh, there it is. Alrighty, so we have found a Klingon planet. It will be the planet of 5-9. Empire Defense at 95. This could be a homeworld. We're going to start with a surprise reverse, though, so we're not entirely sure just what it is we're getting involved in. But the surprise reverse is a nice, easy way to begin. We just basically go out and annihilate everything, and I have not seen that one before. That's outright gorgeous. We are being escorted today by the Hodgson, which appears to be a Federation Heavy Cruiser standard type, CAR? CAX, which has the R refit on top of it. So that's pretty much the final form that the CA is ever going to reach. It goes CA, CAR, CAR+, CAX, I think is the final version. And isn't it quite the lovely ship? Although we are a much more powerful and large and absurdly powerful ship in our massive battleship, the Sydney. So let's see what we're fighting. We're fighting a frigate, and just a whole bunch of frigates. So you look to be a different frigate from the rest of them, so we're going to target you. We may send our vulture out to kill whatever this is, but I doubt it. Let's keep kicking up the speed. We're not going to bother with overloading or any sort of electronic countermeasure. The name of the game here is speed, and we shall bring as much of it as we can. Photon torpedoes are almost charged, and once they're fully charged, that gives us quite a bit of power back to the ship system, so we might even be able to cruise at a speed of 31, which is pretty actually impressive for having a battleship that is fully rigged for combat. If I'm not mistaken, the Hydron Monarch class battleship carrier actually can't do that, so we have a little bit more flexible maneuverability than they do. So let's make sure that the rest of our energies is spent into the forward shield just to protect us a little bit from the splashback damage from when we utterly annihilate somebody. Make sure our phaser X's are set to overload so they deal the most amount of damage they possibly can. We don't really need to worry about preserving too much damage, and we did start spawning in the far position. That's not the worst thing in the world. We should be able to get on top of them, especially with the Hodgson backing us up. We shouldn't have too much trouble. I do want to kill this frigate first because it is the bigger of the two. Although you are an F5 type, so we're going to go for this one. It's the biggest and the baddest. So we're just going to jive right on top of it. Actually, probably could. Let's try it. Yep, that worked. So that one's down completely because we are, of course, a battleship. All weapon select and photon torpedoes. Perfect. Probably shouldn't have fired every single thing because that did fire missiles. Should have kept that in mind, and I didn't. We're going to drop down in speed all the way. That way we can just use our support weapon systems, almost a full charge on the phasers. Let's see if we can curl in close enough in order to actually kill him. I don't think Gatling phasers are going to be online for this one. Range is dropping. That's probably close enough. So not quite enough to kill him, but able to get 2 more phasers in on target that were the stern firing ones, and they were able to wipe him out. We're down to just 2 of the enemy ships. The surprise reversed. You are an exceptionally easy mission. It's basically supposed to give you an opportunity to just sort of restock your cache, basically for free. And we stole his glory. Sorry, Hodgson, you wasted a shell for basically nothing. But then that's kind of to be expected. A whole bunch of frigates versus, well, a battleship? Yeah, especially when those frigates can't move. Even if they were all on and engaged, they would not be able to survive our firepower. 300 prestige is our reward, and we've already started whittling away at the planet itself. It does appear that there is also a station there we may want to end up taking. That isn't. Yep, we've found Kronos. So this is indeed the planet of Kronos, and we are now going to bombard and siege it. That way we can capture it and get, well, I suppose the lovely temples, I suppose. We are being escorted today by the Hodgson once again, and the USS Antares, which is a battleship carrier for the Federation. He'll be carrying, I believe, 12 or is it 16 fighters? It might be 16. And that's no small amount of fighters. We're squaring off against the C-10X battleship, or dreadnought. It's not quite a battleship level. But this time we are actually going to have to prepare ourselves for real combat. Phasers to overload. Let's make sure the shuttles are starting to work on a scatter pack in case we actually need them. Get the forward shields as reinforced as we possibly can. And then electronic countermeasures. We're going to go 4 points ECM and 2 points electronic countermeasure. Maybe find the Sword of Kahless. The ship or the actual Sword of Kahless? Oh, that was what, a C7? Oh, you're a battleship, aren't you? What kind of battleship are you? You are a B-10. Whew, you're the two fingers, aren't you? So we've run into a very large, very scary, very dangerous target that we kind of need to commit ourselves more to. The B-10 battleship is basically our contemporary. There is the B-11 super battleship, and that makes life just a little bit more difficult to work with. Yeah, the actual sword. Well, isn't it floating out in the middle of space? If I recall my Armada, my Starfleet or Star Trek Armada lore, Worf left it drifting out in the middle of space and then went to go pick it up, and that's not going to happen for a while. Yes, we are indeed attacking the Klingon homeworld. And for once, it actually kind of looks like the Klingon homeworld to a certain extent. So let's go check in here. Oh, I've got a ton of power I can steal. So let's get those engines a-burning so we can hopefully dive on top of this. Yeah, but so in DS9, yeah, they run into it, they get it, and then Jadzia, the one lore master, and Worf, they all fight over it because they all want to be the one to return to the Empire, and then they throw it out into space. And then in, I think it's Armada 2, but it might be Armada 1, they then take the Defiant out to go find it, pick it up, and use it to, I guess, unite the Klingons? But yeah, it was a rather more absurd piece of Armada, which I love that game, but it had some weird things in it. Alright, so he has deployed all of his fighters. I'm looking at, probably 16? Gotta look, yeah, it's 16 fighters. Okay, so we're gonna dive on top of this V10 for obvious reasons. He is the most powerful thing out here. Let's get our forward shields fully reinforced as much as we can. I'm gonna save the missiles as a sort of like a back attack on him. Armada 2 is a lot of fun. I would say that Armada 2 is better than Armada 1, just purely based on the... Are you gonna shoot me or what? Okay, I guess we're shooting. Hey, your shields are down. I'm not really sure why you're not shooting me, but you're not, so... Okay, he has deployed a Wild Weasel. We can use that to try and get on out of here. So full speed ahead. We're going to wait for that attack ship to go away before we open fire with our photon torpedo, which is only in the back because it's weird. And it looks like the enemy dreadnought has decided to come after us. Okay, did not need the emergency tractor beams, which is lovely. And we'll just keep coming around, steadily plink into him. He's lost almost every single one of his shields, although it does look like all of our fighters are about to die. Although we didn't launch our vultures, so it's not a big deal. I could launch missiles, but into this, yeah, that would never actually get through. I'm really tempted, actually. We got the shot. Take it. We may as well weaken him as much as we can. Oh, the Gatling phaser's getting involved. Absolutely brutal on him. And pop the missiles. Ooh, we're too close. We are too close for missiles. We must continue with phasers. And I'm tempted to drop a mine, but I don't think I'm actually going to need it. Oh, wow, your shields are almost completely gone. You are a C-10 Dreadnought. You just feel so tiny. Fire the missiles. Make him think about it. Hodgson, please don't get yourself killed. I'd like to keep you alive. Yeah, you deployed a Wild Weasel instantly. Yes, those fighters are indeed dead. The Klingons do not mess around when it comes to putting AMDs on everything. So the Hodgson is maneuvering into a position on the B-10, and that is really kind of emphasizing just how tiny the Hodgson is compared to him. These battleships are just insane. We're in good position for photon torpedo follow-up, but I want to get in range for actual photon torpedoes rather than just our weak proximity photon torpedoes. Wow, how much damage? Only 18 damage out of that? It did knock out a shield, but still, that was very well taken. You still have a shuttle base, so I'm not going to use it. Photon torpedoes, right into them. Pretty decent amount of damage. Going to get a little bit closer for the phasers. And pop the missiles. I think I've got you. Got him. Lovely. Alright, so the missiles were all that was required. We can now come around. It looks like the Demon Slayer is basically having a really bad day. So let's just come around. We're going to have our forward phaser bank all ready to go. That wasn't even required. The Antares took care of it all. Lovely. Alright, so that's the Klingon defensive force. We did not actually lose our shields, although the Hodgson did take a little bit of a pounding. He looks like he's repairing himself in pretty decent order. So let's head on towards this planet as we get ready for a bombardment. We may now, of course, switch our electronic countermeasure to maximum electronic countermeasure because the planet will not attempt to cut through our jamming. He doesn't need to. He's got enough firepower in order to try and blast us. He will attempt to protect himself as much as possible. And photon torpedoes do not react well to jamming of any kind. They're not very good at it. Now, if the Antares would sort of group up with me, we could actually get a really nice barrage going because, you know, it's 2 battleships. Although he is a battleship carrier, he still has the forward pack of the 8 photon torpedoes. Well, the main reason why I don't think the Federation battleship carrier is nearly as good as the Federation battleship in general is because he's missing 6 missile launchers and the aft-firing photon torpedo. If he still had those 6 missile launchers, I'd take the battleship carrier without a second thought. So he's not quite on the level of the Hydran battleship carrier. So, beginning our bombardment, it is going to take us probably quite some time in order to cut through, although we do have 3 Federation ships with photon torpedoes, so their AI will actually keep them at range anyway, where the proximity photon torpedo will do its job quite nicely, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. See? Blast it away, actually using effective tactics for once. I'm impressed by the air. Alright, we've cut through the forward shield, lovely. All weapons select. Actually not yet, we're going to have to keep up with just the phasers, although he probably can't handle this if I add into it. Okay, don't want to get too close. We're going to start slowing down. Phasers involved. Photon torpedoes. Basically going to fight. Oh, we got missiles through. Lovely. Alright, so we're going to continue a missile bombardment. Absolutely then. Continue with the photon torpedoes as well. And I really think we're cutting through the defenses fairly quickly on this one. Oh, the humanity. 204 damage out of those missiles. Not terrible at all. Keep the missile barrage coming. We're going to bring down Kronos to its knees. And send a probe. Let's find out exactly what's left. Nothing. Lovely. Marines. Only 2. Okay, so we're in a great position. We just need to get into range and beam people over. This has been, hands down, one of the fastest planetary assaults we've ever done with the Federation, I feel. It was all thanks to our battleship. So get ourselves within transporter range, and we'll send over the Marines to go actually capture the planet. There they go. We beam over 8 Marines at a time. That is a considerable number of Marines. We could probably start capturing ships fairly easily with that. So we're going to see if we can't get the turn going. And we have captured the planet. So Kronos has been captured for the first time, but its Empire defense is down to 85 at this point, I believe, so this is going to take quite a few more times, if I'm completely honest. But, once we'll have it, it's 670 for getting a planetary assault, once we have it, that'll be a massive economic boost to us. It has an economy of 95. This planet has an economy of 30. That should tell you exactly what it is we're dealing with. I'm going to take a holding action right here. This is a basic fly towards the outpost, figure out the information, and then, well, run away if required, or kill everything if not, and I think we're going to kill everything. We got an F5, we've got a single heavy cruiser off here that looks to be an F5, or a D5, but is claiming to be a heavy cruiser. It lies. And we do, of course, have a C-10 Dreadnought over here, so we will focus on this, although we brought the Monarch battleship. It's not the Monarch battleship carrier, because it does still have this aft-firing twin Hellbore cannon, so it's only going to have 12 fighters instead of 20, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's a Hydran ship with fighters. It's going to be absolutely terrifying. Let's make sure that we are fully rigged for combat. Now, we're not going just for the massive single alpha kill by overloading the photon torpedoes, but perhaps we should give that a try, because I get the feeling that that would probably absolutely gut any Klingon ship that we're actually willing to come across. So we're going to set the photon torpedoes to overload, phasers as well. Phasers don't need to take any power because that just saps from the phaser capacitor itself. And still at 14.5. That's not bad. I'm going to steal most of that so I can actually move a little bit quicker. And once the photon torpedoes are charged, we should get a fairly decent power discount out of that one. So able to maintain a speed of about 15 while charging photon torpedoes in overload mode, although we're not charging anything else at the moment, so there is that going for us. Probably should set up a scatter pack, but I don't think I'm going to use it. The ability to launch a 9-missile salvo is probably going to work out better for us anyway in the long run. So, is the Monarch battleship going to launch his fighters? Oh, he already did. And they're behind him, because they're only hunter-killers and not the much more powerful and dangerous Hornets, which would be much more useful in this situation. Because then the fighters would be able to stay at range and just bombard, but wow. The Dare Slayer has already taken a considerable amount of damage. His shields are dropping in multiple locations, although I'm fairly positive that the fighter squadrons are all about to die. Alright, he's running away at his pretty decent clip. How much power do I got for free? I got 20 points of power. I'm going to steal most of that, because it looks like he's mainly tied up with the fighters. This DX really wants to get into a fight with me, and I don't think he's quite realized just how bad of an idea that is. I might end up accidentally bumping that mine. Yeah. So we're going to come in, we're going to basically wipe him off the planet, and we're going to unselect our missile launchers on this one, because I don't think we're going to need them. Just got to wait until we close to sufficient range. Didn't actually need the defensive tractor moves. Slow down. And fire. Gone. Alright, so I had been weakened pretty considerably on that one. Huhar and FQSR, pretty ignorable, actually. Let's send him some missiles his way so that he understands just the gravity of the situation that he finds himself in. Photon torpedoes back to normal, give us a whole bunch of power back on that one. And he will, of course, Wild Weasel. I can't imagine he's just going to take this to the face. Yeah, there he goes. His AMD started to engage, but it was not going to be able to handle all of that. So the shuttle's going to disappear in relatively short order, in about 5 seconds after it gets hit, and then we'll be able to basically bowl him over. He's got 2 battleships heading right on top of him. He may have picked the wrong place to be at the moment. I'm not going to bother with the photon torpedoes or the missiles on this one. Phasers alone shall do my job. Oh, don't think you're getting away from this one. I take it back. Phasers alone were not enough. Have the missiles. You asked for it. You can have it. And gone. Forward shield almost gone, but I'm not super concerned since the only thing left is, well, an FQSR. And while he has a missile launcher, which means he can deploy scatter packs, he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot else besides that. So we're just going to keep up the light phaser fire as our phaser capacitor steadily charges. Cut down the speed a little bit. We are basically a star castle at this point. We don't need much more going for it. Although, most of our starboard side photon torpedoes are ready to go. So if we actually manage to come around fast enough, we may actually get a shot in, although I doubt it. I think the Majestic's probably... Nope, our phasers will do the job quite nicely. Alright, lovely. So that is all of the enemy, so green alert. We no longer need that. Maximum speed of the ship, as well as maximum speed of time. We'll get ourselves right over this listening post and then head on out. The enemy was unable to deal with our firepower. Ah, our battleship. The incredibly powerful USS Sydney. Yes, we have 10 photon torpedoes, 8 of which fire forward, and 2 of which fire backwards. Could I please just re-angle one of them? Because I want all 10 to shoot forward. I think that would be very, very fun. Although, if I could get a couple of heavy photon torpedo launchers, that'd be really awesome. But then I'd also need a reactor upgrade to go along with it, and that's not going to happen. So we shall finish scanning the listening post, and then let's find the fastest way to get out of here. Straight ahead as it may be. And we shall successfully have grabbed a ton of information. Hopefully we'll actually be able to get something out of this, or the data may end up being corrupted. We are, after all, very close to Kronos, so we may not get anything useful out of it. I hope that we do, fingers crossed. And if we manage to neutralize this tile in relatively short order, we may actually get a straight path from our current planet to Kronos, and that'll make life just a little bit easier. Let us go to warp. See what she said. And we'll head ourselves right on out of this map and successfully accomplishing the mission. So dealing with a enemy dreadnought, a battlecruiser, and a Q ship that happened to be around, and stole all their information. Alright, Starfleet Command, what do you say? According to the data gathered from the listening post, the Klingons are currently gathering ships from other empires to stand against us, so their own navy has already failed, and we neutralized the tile. Lovely. Let's put the pressure back up on Kronos. A convoy raid, we gotta do the shipyard assault. We are, after all, a battleship. That is kind of our job. Convoy raiding, that's a heavy cruiser's job. That's a battle cruiser's job. Oh boy. Alrighty, so we're being escorted once again. Ooh, not once again, but the Majestic, which is a Monarch battleship carrier, versus a C-10, which is an okay size dreadnought, not super crazy. A little tiny light cruiser that I don't care about, but this here is a B-11 super battleship. This got number 2 on our top battleships of Starfleet Command list, and the Federation battleship is number 5. So we're a little bit outgunned. He has more phasers, more powerful shields, more missile launchers, absolutely mecha-ton of disruptors and phasers. This is going to be interesting and rough on several levels. So let's get ourselves ready for one heck of an uphill climb. We are probably going to have to try and make use of our fighters on this one, but his AMD defenses are, well, prodigious would be a word to describe them potentially. So this will be an interesting fight. So ECM is set, forward shields rigged, and let's start sapping that shield budget a little bit so we can start getting it away. Photon torpedoes overload. I think we're going to need it, because we're basically going to get one shot. Now, this light cruiser's coming in, and he's going to be irritating, but I really can't afford to deal with him. Set a probe. What kind of AMDs are you packing? I'm guessing 4. Yeah, 4. He's Marines to take down his AMDs. He's got multiple. I mean, taking on this guy's possibly. But this is going to be a little bit rough. He does outgun us pretty considerably. I actually think I'm going to flex on over here first. How much forward shield power do I got? Pretty decent amount. How many Marines you got? Okay, so basically my plan here is I'm going to blast him with all of my phasers, which will open him up. Hopefully that'll be with enough time for me to cycle back into this B-11, and also without taking too much damage. And then we will hopefully capture the ship, because I only need to get one Marine dead in order to make this work. Cross your fingers. He's opened fire with his missiles. Our AMDs should have no trouble with this at all. So AMDs, please take it down. Now, please. Thank you. Okay, open him up. Lovely. 6. There goes 8. He's ours. He did get a free shot down our throat. But... oh, wow. He actually knocked out a phaser doing that. That's pretty lucky on his part. Okay, so we've dealt with him. He will not be a factor in the fight moving forward. Our Marines will finish capturing the ship in a little while. His fighters have been deployed. How much forward shield power do I currently have? 5.4 is not great, so we're going to have to save the fighters, or the... okay, let's flood you a bit. I think that'll push you off somewhat. I want him to stop. I want an opportunity to open fire on him before he gets a chance to shoot on me. And trying to push him into an emergency defensive maneuver, which he did go on, does help me out. Okay, phasers, let's come over here. We're going to go maximum defense on this one. Start shooting him down. I hate having to do this, but I've got to, because that takes away a lot of my firepower by doing that. I'll stop. Well, most of us stop. 11.5. Yes, when you lose armor, does it return to base? I think you have to return to base and get it repaired. Okay, that opened him up. All weapons open fire. We got a free shot. And Marines, he's got 26. I want you to kill this right now. And now stop all hit and runs. Emergency tractors engage. Photon torpedoes back to normal mode. Phasers, fire should bear. Let's see if we can't cause a little bit of damage down his throat on this one. So we have captured the D whatever. What are you? The D5. Unfortunately, he's not going to be super helpful to this fight. We need to push on out of here right now. So we're too close to him, and it is very dangerous. A couple of more photon torpedoes dumped right on him. What happened to our Monarch buddy over here? You have like 20 fighters. How have they not killed him yet? Alright, we need to get our distance, and we need to get it now. So all power to engines. Let's start repairing things and getting underway, because I think they smell blood, and they would not be wrong. So most of our forward phasers have gone offline, so we're going to have to start some repairs going on this one. We basically had a really bad luck round in terms of just how much our armor is protecting us. The Dragon Slayer is not really in this fight. Unfortunately, he actually picked a fight with the Majestic, which is why that C-10 is not actually damaged. That's got to be it. So we need to get some distance on you here, keep the repairs going, and I can't do much about that. Maybe evasive? Yep, good call on that one. I forgot about that. So we're going to go evasive maneuvers if I got the power to do it. There we go. So give ourselves a little bit more defense, make it a little bit harder for them to shoot at us. As long as they're blasting at me, then they're not shooting at the Majestic. And the Majestic shouldn't have that much of a hard time killing both of these guys. His fighters are useless, because he's never going to put them in a position where they're going to be useful, but even still, the Majestic has a pretty significant amount of firepower based on him. Alright, looks like they're pulling off us a little bit, which we might be able to use to our advantage. But as you can see, we've been pretty badly beat up on this one. There's our little buddy. How many Marines you got, just in total? Just give me a number. 18? How about your buddy? Not you. 19. Okay, so if we can work them down, we might actually be able to steal them. That may be the safest way to go through. The B-11 Super Battleship is designed to kill us. It's flat out part of its design. So taking this thing on is not going to be easy. But we certainly can give it a shot. I mean, we're already committed to giving it a shot, but... Alright, evasive maneuvers to off, because we are behind him at this point. We're going to start to slow down. Give us some engine power. Please don't kill the Majestic just yet. I need him. I need him to be alive and deadly. Okay, shoot into your back, and this is light skirmishing fire, I know, but it's the best I can offer at the moment, although I really can't afford to go too slowly. Not with him being so mobile and active with things. Drop a mine. So it looks like the C-10 is the current target of the Majestic, and if that's the case, I'm going to contribute my fire as best as I can. And how many Marines you got? Down to 10. We're not quite there yet, but we're working on it. I'd rather take it, because if I take it, that might prompt the battleship to actually try and kill it first. Don't have any phasers currently available at the moment, so I think I actually am going to just try and kill it right here with the missiles. And is that a kill? That is not a kill. Okay, so he did launch a Wild Weasel shuttle. Gonna blast into him. That's 7. Marines go. Oh, we're not on an open shield. There. Oh, we lost it. Never mind, we killed it. Alright, we need power. We need to get out of here again. So back to the evasive maneuver. And how are you doing? Majestic is pretty badly mauled. The Dreadnought, not so much. So we've got a little bit of a problem going on here. How many AMDs you got? You got one here. Yeah, okay, so we're going to do a hit and run on that. So as we had been discussing earlier, and I kind of scoffed at it because I thought he had more than one AMD, but he doesn't. He's only got the one mount. So if I can get a good pass on this, I might be able to get something done. So let's go. Assault teams getting ready. Phaser set to overload. We need to keep up on our repairs. It's going to be very important. Repairs are essential to staying alive. Okay, that's a problem. The Majestic's now down, and we kind of needed him. Drop a mine. Ooh, I can't drop mines while maneuvering erratically, nor can I use shuttles. It may be time to fold them and get on out of here. Without any sort of blocking force, we're really sort of on edge on this one. So I'm going to start building in some distance. We might try and work this as a long-range defensive battle. So we'll pull back, use our proximity photon torpedoes, and then come back in. Yeah, I'm thinking about it right now, Rimmer, but I'm not positive on it. I do kind of want to get some more work done here. And I think I might be able to do it, because I do have the Dragon Slayer, which, you know, has basically nothing. But he will be a distracting force. Photon torpedoes. I need the aft one charged, and I need it charged now. There's a draft on the bridge. Maybe a little bit of one. But if you put in a space heater, it ought to be just fine. You won't even notice. Alright, so we did manage to cut through his armor. Well, cut through his shields, not necessarily his armor. Keep the repairs coming. We are quite low on power compared to what we can maximally do. Fight near the border? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Oh, I think our Dragon Slayer is about to die. Just the amount of missiles he can put out. He may not even get a chance to get... Yeah, he didn't get a chance to get hit by the missiles. Okay, so for now the plan is we got to keep him at range, and for that I need to keep the engine repairs going because we've got to get up to full engine repairs on this one. Shut off this, shut off this. That'll give us a little bit more power to work with, because I'd like to get up to a speed of 31 just in case he can actually match me. And really, let's just shut off all the forward photon torpedoes. They're not drawing power anyway at the moment, but they might be able to work for me a little bit. Well, it's his own fault. He was on the enemy team. We captured him, and that helped out. Need to get this aft-firing photon torpedo back online. Which is not a sentence that I like to say, because I hate that aft-firing photon torpedo. But it may be one of the better choices that we can make. So I need, after these phasers are done, aft photon torpedo. Ooh, actually no, quad phaser mount. Aft photon torpedo. AMD. AMD quad phaser mount. Aft photon. This, forward firing photons, and then we're out of repair slots. But we are almost back up to full power, which is a great boon for us because we can now just maneuver at will. As soon as we get the phaser capacitor fully charged, actually I'm going to sap from that. I don't need that much phaser capacitor charge because we're basically going to be fighting on heavy weapons here. It's going to be the primary plan at the moment. So I've got 4 points of power into a defensive tractor beam, which I do not need, so I'll take that away. And I've got 3 points of power into actual combat systems. I am spending no less than 60 points of power to move this bucket. Kind of crazy, isn't it? Why is my photon torpedoes not charging? Other is 23. Oh yeah, of course. The evasive maneuvers is sapping a ton of power, isn't it? Slow down a little bit. Gives me 6 points of power into the weapons systems charging, which I only have one that I need to charge, and this is aft photon torpedo. Okay, we've reached the edge of the map. He's doing a speed of, well, not quite up to speed. So, okay, we're up to a speed of 31. Yep, the shields are coming back. The Federation has the highest shield recharge rate in the game, which is very helpful. So this will allow us to not necessarily reset the situation, but helps us out a little bit. So AMD is coming back. Once the AMD is back online, that allows us to be a little bit more aggressive. It makes his missiles not nearly as dangerous. So as long as we keep the speed up, which is weird for a Federation ship because we're going to try and keep the speed up, we're going to try and keep the aggression up. And that's, well, going to be our main game plan at the moment. We are charging up the phaser capacitor slowly. Increase the speed time. As long as you're doing a speed of 8, I'm perfectly happy. You may have taken engine damage, actually. Because Klingon ships do not have a very good aft shield. They just have problems with it. Okay, so our aft photon torpedo is starting to charge, which does work for me. Very happy to see it. How many Marines you got? We've got 12. So we're probably not going to be able to beat him in a Marine battle. Quick check of the map. How close to the edge are we? Good, lovely. I don't want to get too close to those. Ooh, they're Romulan star docks. Okay. So they'll have plasma torpedoes for the most part. Not the most dangerous thing in the world, because they're incredibly short-ranged. So spending some time getting our systems underway. Okay, we have the AMD back. We're getting the quad mount phaser back, and that'll be a huge pickup for us, because that'll give us a lot more power. Our aft-firing photon torpedo is ready. So this one only. Proximity. Set it his way. Hey, we hit him. We hit him out of a defense shift of 2. Holy crap. That's actually pretty impressive. Photon torpedoes, not particularly good when it comes to being able to hit stuff through defense shifts. And we will turn off evasive maneuvers. Are we ready to go back into full combat? Not that one. I want this one. Kind of. Give him some missiles. Let's see what he wants to think about this one. I mean, I know he can take them down. He is fully capable of handling. We beat the battleship fight, then some space dockmasters going home. No, our dockmaster will not be happy. Okay, so he wild weaseled. That'll allow us to get some time. Keep the repairs a-coming. How are we doing? Missile launchers. Forward photon torpedoes. And then I want the transporter, because Marines may factor heavily. We are officially out of missiles, so the only thing we have left is our single scatter pack. So the missile mounts at this point are just additional HP to us. We don't really need to worry about them. F-firing photon torpedo. Oh, we're slightly out of range for the F-firing photon torpedo. But you know what? Red alert. Let's bring all weapon systems back online. Do we have enough power to charge? We do. Okay, lovely. So we can maintain a speed of 31, and we can set our phaser capacitor charge rate back to maximum. And click and drag. There we go. Alright, so we are bringing our weapon systems fully back online. Photon torpedoes, we have one that needs left to be repaired. We're almost back up to full combat status. Our shields are recovering. They're not anywhere near full combat status just yet. But on the bright side, we're about to be able to hit him pretty hard. So photon torpedoes to proximity mode, and as soon as that last one's charged and ready, we're going to go in, because an 8 proximity photon torpedo barrage is still a pretty terrifying thing to deal with. For nacelle accelerator crest? Nah, sir, this is an Ares-class battleship. Okay, we managed to get a couple of hits, but we are going to keep the range out long on him, so he can't get too much going on for us. And our F-photon torpedo, because we may as well. Ooh, no hits on that one. He's not putting up defense shift right now, but I don't want to get too close to him. My main concern at this point is if he can manage to nail us with a couple of good disruptor shots. I want to avoid that wherever possible. So I am keeping us outside of what would be more effective photon torpedo range. So our aft shields are coming back quite nicely. Where's my shield reinforcement currently? It is actually currently set up to the aft. So that is why that's working. But as long as we can stay at range and use our photon torpedoes, he actually can't reply very efficiently. We just have the better setup than he does for this sort of long-range battle. More hits coming down. We've got our full forward... I can't call it a broadside because it's all spinal mounts. Okay, managed to get a pretty decent number of hits on that one. He's starting to blink away, do his best, but our defense shift is working quite nicely for us. I'm going to take the time to repair the electronic countermeasure. I don't think it's actually going to do anything. And I'm not going to bother fixing up the missile launchers. There's no point. They can't do anything. We've got some plasma torpedo fire coming our way because we're starting to get really close to those star docks. So we don't really want to get that close. Forward photon torpedoes. Ooh, all 6 of them managed to actually get through, so 6 times 4, that's 24 damage. We get a couple more salvos like that, and he's not going to have a forward shield anymore. So we just got to keep at range, not let him get in close to use those super heavy weapons of his. Use our photon torpedoes, out-firing. Another hit on the front, and our forward-firing ones are about to come back online. So he is surprisingly letting us dictate this engagement, because he's not keeping the speed up. He's getting really low on power. If we wanted to, we could basically outrun him. So we're going to come back around, get another photon torpedo barrage in. And a really good barrage on that one. I'm going to attempt it. I'm going to set a probe. Forward shield is almost collapsed, although his forward port shield, the one that we had cut through before, that's almost back to full power. So if we could just keep the pressure on the forward shield, 2 good hits, that's down. All right, so his forward shield is offline at this point. Any additional damage is just going to go right through. Oh, this is reminding me of early season 11, when we were in a light cruiser, I believe. Were we dueling with a dreadnought in that mission? I forget, but that's certainly what we're going back to the basics of Federation tactics. Keep them at range, and operate, just use your proximity photon torpedoes. Yep, the gunnery crews have been doing an okay job at this point. So we managed to get the distance back out. We're going to come back in. Hopefully he'll keep his bow towards us, and we'll be able to cut through it. Photon torpedoes. Oh, there we go. That's 7 out of 8 hits right there. 27 damage as he's starting to take some serious hits on this one. We will outdo him. We have the capability to basically outlast him. We have an infinite number of photon torpedoes, whereas, okay, he has an infinite number of disruptors, but photon torpedoes are better than disruptors. Another good hit on that one. And just a little bit of playfulness. Firing away with our phasers. Actually got 7 damage out of that one. Our shields are back up almost to full power. So we've basically reset the game at this point. So we managed to kill the C-10. We killed his D5 buddy. We managed to deal a little bit of damage to him. But now it's a brand new fight, and it's me and you and nobody else. Coming back in for another mainline photon torpedo strike. He's got no defensive electronic countermeasures currently active. Get ourselves within range and fire as we pull away. 5 hits on that one. 15 damage on through. It's a steady whittling away through, and bit by bit, we're going to pick this super battleship apart. Honestly, he really should be much more aggressive. He is a more powerful vessel. If he gets in close, I mean, the main reason we were running in the first part of this battle is because we got in close and he basically just battle-axed us. Another 28 damage on through that forward shield. His power doesn't seem to be dropping any, nor, frankly, would I expect it to. He's got a lot of energy on board that ship, so he's not exactly worried about spending it, although I'm really concerned as to why he's not trying to be more aggressive on us. Okay, we're playing right towards the edge of the map once again. We're going to come through and pull the turn on this direction. That's what I want. 7 hits on that one. We are within his phaser range, but he decided not to use it. Speed is down to 4.8. Probe, what's he doing? He's lost a couple of systems, his tractor beam for sure. Nothing too dangerous though, but it does appear that his warp core has probably suffered some pretty serious damage as he's down to a speed of 4.8. Maybe a capture? It's a possibility, but we gotta get close if we want to do that. And close is not a place that you want to be with a Klingon battleship. Come in, prepare for another hit with the main battery, and I need to hit that front. Only 3 hits on that one. A couple of phaser shots and firing photon torpedoes. Down to a speed of 1.8, 1.3. Wow. He's taking some serious hits if that's the case. So we're going to have to cycle in. We've almost got him down to a place where we could capture him if we wanted. Don't want to get too close, though, because he's still a dangerous opponent. You don't want to underestimate the Klingon battleship. Especially, see, he can pump up 12 missiles in one salvo. After the usual... Yeah, as long as he doesn't explode from the photon torpedo barrage. Which, you know, is a distinct possibility. We are putting up quite a bit of damage. Our AMD, more than capable of handling that. 20 damage on through. Phaser barrage, down to 7. We could send our people over if we wanted. Photon torpedoes. Okay, another couple of hits. He's down to 6. That's close enough. And let's just quickly turn so we don't actually go off the map. Alright, Marines, get ready. Slow down the speed of time to something a little bit more natural. So we are going to go for a Marine run on this one. We're basically going to fire down his throat with our phasers to stun him, and then dump our Marines off board as soon as we can. Need to get to a range of 5.99, and that's a good shot through. Send in the Marines. Turn, turn, turn. Okay, we got our shields back in place. Alrighty, so we got him. So that is a mostly warp core annihilated B-11 battleship. Super battleship. Ah, the B-11X. You took number 2 on the top 8 battleship list. And now you're about to be captured by Federation Marines. Starfleet Marines will have your vessel. You cannot stop us. So wait for him to go. And
Ship is ours.
There we go. It's ours. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Yes, we will drag the broken hull back to display in the main square of Romulus. I need to come off in this direction. And back towards the area. So the primary objective, number 2 captured by number 5. Yes, indeed. Oh, the Federation battleship is a solid design, though. I did mention that. It was the best of the conventional battleships, for sure. Except the super battleship is clearly not a conventional battleship. Alright, so we are alive, we are capable, and just for giggles, to make sure that by the time we hit back space dock, we're going to repair everything on the ship. It's going to cost us a little bit more, but at the end, we're doing pretty okay on cash, I think. So, cruising on, we have no more missiles, aside from those that are in our current scatter pack. And once we get to the, there they are. They are Romulan star docks, so they will be a little bit, More difficult to crush than usual, purely because they have plasma torpedoes, so we are going to have to take that into account. Surprisingly enough, I'm not seeing the third, although it must... Oh, no, there it is. Must have missed it as we were coming in. Alright, so prepare the forward shield for maximum reinforcement, and also take an opportunity to go through the weapon screen and turn these off. And slow down speed time, so I can actually get this set up properly.
Phasers set to point defense.
Yeah, shut all the phasers off from defense mode, please. Good. Alright, so we have no defensive phasers, which means all power to the forward shield just to bounce whatever sort of plasma torpedo he's about to send our way. I don't even think it's going to make it to us, so yeah, let's just cruise on in here. Okay, it's going to make it to us, but it's not going to have any power behind it. Yeah, just bounced right off the forward shield. All weapons select. Let's get ready to break this thing. So goodbye, Mr. Stardock. You do have a massive attack ship, so that might actually help you. Ooh, photon torpedoes were set to, there we go. Unfortunately, we didn't do the proper run because the photon torpedoes were set to proximity mode still. So that was not able to contribute to the battle. He's managed to break himself on that one. Photon torpedo, please get in there. Thank you. He does not have the engine power. He is cruising along at a speed of 0. I mean, look at him. He's got nothing. Wow, I didn't quite realize we managed to break half of the ship at this point. More than half. He only had 4 Phaser X's, 5 Phaser 3s, and some missile launchers left. We really did a number on him. Alright, let's come in and wipe this thing out. I doubt he has the capability to resist us at this point, although he does have a plasma torpedo, which could hurt. Alrighty, folks, let's line it up. Phasers are fully charged, which gives us a ton of power to the forward shield. I'm anticipating a plasma torpedo shot at any moment right now. Just gonna get right on top of him, basically. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have anything. Electronic countermeasure. Let's go maximum ECCM. Got him. Lovely. On to the next one. Maximum speed of time. So the first one is down. We could try and... Well, actually, no, we can't try and capture these. We have 4 Marines left. So we actually do not have the capability of capturing. That actually hit our shields, which is not great. Not our reinforced shields, but our regular shields. So not the best. Almost killed him, but not quite. But the aft phasers were able to take him out. On to the last and final Stardock on this glorious saga of taking on a B-11 battleship. Even from back here, he looks fairly decently sized. Alrighty, we need our photon torpedoes fully charged. We would also like a fairly decent forward shield reinforcement level. Wow, 32 reinforcement, and it's still only pale yellow. It's kind of absurd, which makes you wonder just how little power is there currently in the system. Alright, let's get right on top of him, then we'll stop and blast him with everything we've got. That should hopefully be enough to utterly decimate this thing. If we wanted to do this right, what we'd do is we'd fire the photon torpedoes first. That way it didn't actually reduce this shield reinforcement that much, so we wouldn't take any damage from the splashback damage. And then you follow up with the phasers. Oh. We actually managed to hurt ourselves a little bit on that one, but that is a successful mission. The shipyard's destroyed, a B-11 battleship captured. Ah, excellent job. 900. Actually, no, 1,000. 1,025. That's not bad. Kronos is down to an Empire defense of 80. And we'll take a scouting mission on our way back. Yes, there was a C-10 Dreadnought, so not the most deadly thing ever. Which, unfortunately, the Majestic, which was the Monarch battleship carrier, did not immediately go and try and kill. Which was somewhat irritating because he wasted his firepower on the D5 that we captured in our initial run-through. Alright, we gotta scan a frigate. So, a real quick scout mission. Let's turn on the deep scan. We're gonna basically drive by them. And because we're already out of missiles, because we've used them all, we're below half levels, so they'll automatically refresh up to half levels. I have no problem with just lobbing a ton of missiles his way. So let's play Pseudo Marak here. Let those get out in front. He will, of course, Wild Weasel. By the time we get there, we may actually be prepared for another missile volley. There goes his Wild Weasel. We have scanned him successfully. Scans off. All weapons select. I don't need to stop that much, but hey, that's fine. Perfect. And that took 51 seconds. So hopefully that'll flip the tile to our favor, which I assume it will. It was a neutral tile after all, so that should work out okay. But I can't guarantee anything. 320 prestige, really? He was a frigate, man. Alright, pass back home. Hello, supply yard. We took 378 plus 21. And used 30 spare parts, 48 marines, and only a single mine. And we didn't even use our fighters for any of that because it was suicidal to try and launch fighters into all of his defenses. But the Sydney is still alive and intact. Needed a lot of resupply on that one, but you take out a B-11 battleship and come on, what do you expect? Get our missiles reloaded. So we're gonna, yeah, we spent almost 1,000 prestige re-equipping the Sydney. But hey, that means we still made money on that one, or prestige, I suppose. Let's go for a homeworld assault, because homeworld assaults tend to be a little bit more not as tedious as shipyard assaults. Let's set ourselves up. Red alert. We are being escorted today by the MNR HMS Palace and the other Monarch class battleship HMS Hood. It is a PLPH, and this appears to be a C-10. So another C-10. It's a very popular line of dreadnought, it would appear. Overload all systems. We're going to do this the crushing blow away. So just sort of trundle along at low speed, get our forward shield reinforced, just so any light plinking fire that he sends our way will bounce off, and that's what I was expecting. There's the battleship. Although this time we brought 3 battleships compared to just 1. Well, not 2. So I think we got him managed. Electronic countermeasure? Yes, please. Set it up to ECM, ECCM. Photon torpedoes, you know what? He's closer. He's going to be a lot closer. Proximity's away. Yeah, a couple of hits, just to begin things. And he is breaking off away from us. He doesn't quite want to get involved. How much power do I currently have for free? A fairly decent amount. Let's use it. So, I was hoping the fighters would be able to basically just one pass and annihilate him, but that does not appear to be the case. Photon torpedoes, back to normal mode. We wasted an overload, but that's alright. So we're going to focus ourselves on the Ruthless, which I suppose is a fairly decent name for a battleship. And at a speed of 17, he may have trouble stopping in time to stop our follow-up missile barrage. Okay, track. Ooh, actually, no, he stops on a dime. Wow. That was pretty impressive right there. Out-firing photon torpedo as soon as you bear. Give him a little bit of a taste of some nasty medicine. Okay, we open him up. We can shut off the tractor beams now and just drive through. Yes, we all hope the Hood survives, although, well, she doesn't have any actual magazine to explode, so maybe that'll help her out. So he's managed to cut through our rear shields, even though we were electronically defending and everything else. We're about to get a nice missile barrage onto him, so let's see if 9 missiles can cut through his frankly prodigious point defense grid. He's got 4 AMDs, which is a pretty significant amount of fire. I'm going to dump... Ooh, actually didn't prepare the scatter pack, so I'm not going to dump nothing. And he's trying... Yeah, he's going to be able to pull that off, no problem. Which I suppose makes a heck of a lot of sense, considering we can shoot down basically all 12 of his missiles without so much as flinching. We're probably going to bash through this. We have no power to the forward shield. Slow way down. Let's get some defensive power into that forward shield. Phasers doing a good job. Missiles will be for a good follow-up. And are we in range? There we go. Missiles from much closer range. And it looks like we managed to stun offline his AMD. And the missiles can go through for finishing. The Insufferable is just getting bullied by the Hood. Oh, the Klingon C-10 not able to deal with Hydran battleship. And the phasers just knifing through the armor down to almost no systems remaining. It does look like you managed to kill almost all the fighters though, so I suppose the Insufferable did an okay job on that one. Photon torpedoes, then the starboard side ones are ready to go. I'd like a couple more, but I'm just going to fire as we bear. Probably should have set those proximity mode. I wasn't actually paying attention to what our range was, but a range of 12 is beyond what they're actually capable of doing. It's not. They technically can, they just won't. I could fire some missiles. I'm not going to. We're going to keep this down to an energy engagement only, purely because I want to save the missiles to actually knock out the planet. Alright, so the enemy defenders have been defeated, and onward to the planet. So let's increase the speed of time, because we got some distance to travel. So we're not bringing home an enemy battleship this time, we're instead bringing the planet of Kronos, which hopefully the Federation Council enjoys. Set the photon torpedoes to proximity mode. We will engage as soon as we manage to hit our range of 55. Being backed up by 2 Monarch battleships ought to make this a lot faster, so hopefully that'll work out not too terribly. So we'll get ourselves all nice and lined up for whenever we actually get in range. It'll be a range of 55, which we are almost there, and in range. Ooh, managed to get a couple of really good hits on that one. I'm going to set to maximum electronic countermeasure just to make sure that he can't stop me in what I intended to do, which is, well, destroy all of his defensive systems. So already the phaser scattering fire. Ooh, it looks like, yeah, they punched through already. Holy crap. So let's start to slow way down. And we're just going to keep the fire up. And open fire with missiles. See if he can't contribute a fairly decent amount of a barrage to the fight. He does have 16 phasers, so there is that working against us. But, ooh, he managed to hold on to 3 of them. We might actually be able to get here first. We're fairly close. Phasers continue the fight, just blast away. And that's a successful missile barrage. 291 damage. That is absurd. Plowing in most of our proximity photon torpedoes as well. The planet has got to be... Yep, it's down to 2. Send it to probe. He still has a single phaser 3. See if we can't level that before everything actually happens. And we'll trundle ourselves on into range. There are no more defensive shields for this planet. It is ours for the taking, so let us slip into orbit and prepare the transporters to steal this planet away from them. Range of 5.99 achieved. Send in the Marines, and we'll turn away. Provide ourselves with a little bit of protection as he desperately attempts to repair his systems before we capture a planet. I don't think he will succeed. And there we go, another successful invasion of Kronos, putting the pressure on for sure. He's not having a good day, that is definitely the case. So that's another B11. We're gonna have to start keeping track of that. 670 prestige is, of course, our reward for a job well done. And we'll pop over here, see if you can't grab this tile as well. Just put the pressure on. A surprised reversed, a nice, easy-paced mission to follow up after a couple of hectic ones. We'll just zip in, annihilate everybody who actually moves, and then zip on out. So we are dealing with a frigate, just a whole bunch of frigates. It does appear to be House of Korgath because, well, we're seeing Orion frigates mixed in with Klingon ones, and I don't quite think the Klingons are bandits. They may work with them on occasion, but they're not the same people. They wouldn't have them in the same battle fleet. And we're just going to go right on in. It's important to remember, by the way, that Starfleet battles Klingons are not really Star Trek Klingons in the terms of, well, honor and their whole structures of doing things, or at least in the way that Worf understands them. They're a lot sneakier. Klingons are canonically slavers in Starfleet battles, so they're very much not the good guys. But nevertheless, they are a fairly interesting faction to play, and a fairly interesting faction to play against. Unfortunately, they just pack in as many AMDs as they possibly can, which makes using fighters a little bit difficult unless you brought everything in the kitchen sink. Hello, Josh. Welcome to the stream. You've missed us taking on multiple B-11 super battleships with our Federation battleship, which, you know, has been pretty cool. Okay, let's start to slow way down so we can actually get ourselves ready to follow up the strike on this guy. And all weapons select minus the missile launchers. And prepare to fire at point blank range. Ooh, wasn't quite capable of killing him. Let's see if our forward phasers turn on in time. They did just in time. Perfectly set up. We'll come around toward the next one. We've got a G2R and an E3R. Neither of them are particularly dangerous. This guy also not particularly dangerous. I mean, 3 missile launchers and a fusion cannon. Talk about a scatterbrain mentality right there. He's got a weapon that only works at point-blank range and a weapon that works optimally at mid to long range. Not the best idea you ever had, my friend. But hey, it was yours. It was a decision that you had to make. And there's another one. You know what? Let's just increase the speed of time because we're going to basically run them all down one by one and they really can't stop us. On to the last one, our G2R little buddy. He's got 2 missile launchers, 2 phaser 2s, and a B-type AMD. Oh, he turned on just in time to fire ones at us. How unfortunate for him. Alright, let's set ourselves up. 300 prestige is our reward and a tile taken. Lovely. So we are starting to border Kronos on 2 sides. I'll take the ME210 patrol. Why not? Let's have some fun with it. And there we go.
Red alert.
Really? This is what the game gives me to fight a Romulan freighter. Okay. Okay, that's an interesting way of doing things. So let's just throw it in here. And as long as I'm here fighting a tiny little Romulan freighter, I may as well throw up an invite to the Discord. For those of you who don't know, we have a little tiny Discord that we run. Just a couple of us around here. There are... Oh, it's a heavy cruiser. need to respect that one. It's a small thing. It's not anything too serious. If you want to talk or joke around or, well, get in touch with anybody, you can find us there. Just try and obey the rules and being a nice person and not a total jerk. But as long as you can do that, we should be just fine. Anyway, back to the game. So we got a single remnant freighter. It is an FLPH, so it doesn't even have a plasma torpedo on board. So I am actually going to prepare myself for actual combat by setting up the electronic countermeasure systems on the correct settings, because I'm going to pay a certain amount of respect to a heavy cruiser. But at the end of the day, I'm not exactly expecting much. In fact, I'm going to go send my little tiny attack group to go kill people. Is it 30 people by now? I thought it was like 10. Alright, so our vultures will go over and annihilate this guy, and I really need to figure out if the models from Star Trek Shattered Universe are anywhere online, because I think it'd be really cool if I could implement different fighter models based on the Shattered Universe ones, because some of those were really cool. Alright, so we are slowly getting in range of this guy. As long as he doesn't have a plasma torpedo, we should be just fine. Even if he does, we might be okay. Especially because we can generate like 60 defense. Oh, get in there with your Gatling phasers and your photon torpedoes. I know you got them. Don't neglect them. Hey, looks like you have a plasma torpedo. Okay, weapon systems. Shut that off. And forward shield is more than enough. Target you. Hello. I have come to kill you. Point blank range is now. And he's gone. Just gone. Annihilated from this universe. Okay, guys, I gotta say, you're a little bit embarrassing me. He's a freighter. You should have been able to wipe that guy out and basically win past. Well, I'm not gonna risk you potentially getting killed, so you know what? Return to me. Which may actually get you killed, because he has a single AMD. But he is an Alphabet Super Destroyer. HMS, or IKV Invulnerable. That's a very aggressive name, sir. Something tells me you shouldn't name your ships quite after that, especially for a destroyer. So his fighters are gone. My fighters look to be about like they're coming home, I think. Return to me, right? Yeah, get back on board, guys. I don't want to actually lose you. You are expensive. You're not very powerful, but you are expensive. And we're just going to steadily come back around. We'll wipe him out. Then we'll come back around for our friend over there, that freighter. So prepare to die. Seriously, if you ever find yourself captain of a vessel, especially a little tiny destroyer like this, I urge you not to name it Invulnerable. It just seems like you're tempting way too much things. Ooh, I don't think my phases have been on overload this time. Okay, let's try that. See how he handles it. He doesn't have an AMD anymore, and he's already used a shuttle. Yeah, that worked about as well as I had anticipated. It increases speed time, he's just a freighter. You have no chance, sir. You have a whole bunch of phasers. I'll give you that much, but well, you're not exactly dangerous. And open him up. He has no shuttle bay, and caught by the missiles. Should not have attempted to run. Also, for those of you from the Discord, and even those who might be thinking about joining the Discord, I put up a post earlier today on the Discord. I'm thinking about restarting a Mech HQ game. And kind of what I do with these Mech HQ games is I kind of talk to friends and say, hey, do you want to be a part of it? And basically they tell me what sort of mechs that they would like to have, what sort of pilot that they are, just a general description of the character, and then I basically play through them through a Mech HQ game, and then I write up little post-battle reports about things that have happened and that sort of thing, and they can kind of tell me how their characters react to stuff. It's a nice little fun collaborative storytelling experience. I've done it a couple of times before with a few of my friends, and I'm sort of opening that up to the guys and girls in the Discord, because I figure it might be something fun. It wouldn't be something that would be a video on this channel. Mech HQ is mostly spreadsheets. It's very boring if you don't actually enjoy that sort of thing. But I would probably I'll be posting like battle reports on the Discord. So if you're interested, go to the Mech HQ channel and let me know. If you've already let me know that you're interested in it, post up just some information about your pilot, what sort of mechs you want to find, that sort of thing, just so I have an idea moving forward. And depending on how many people are interested will sort of depend on whether or not everybody's going to be sort of a lance leader, or if they're all going to be individual pilots inside of a lance. We'll figure it out together. It'll be pretty interesting, hopefully. I do intend to start kind of small, and then we'll build the company up larger, as you do in most games. So back to Star Trek, we're sending off a probe to this little tiny light cruiser. He's a D5F, so not exactly the most dangerous thing. D5s are fairly decent light cruisers. I like them quite a lot, but he is not going to be capable of stopping us, because we're a dreadnought. We're beyond a dreadnought, we're a battleship. Although his AMDs would be incredibly dangerous if we attempted to launch our fighters into that. The Klingons, man, they do not mess around when it comes to fighters. It does, you know, kind of indicate just how powerful Federation fighters truly are. The fact that the Klingons are like, no, we're not even gonna bother messing with this. Just throw all the AMDs you can fit on the ship. Although part of that may also be anti-drone missiles, which are not actually present in this game, but they represent that by having... yeah, basically free AMDs. So he's gone. Was this a scouting mission? I forget. I wasn't paying attention. Huh. Hopefully it wasn't, because if it was, we utterly annihilated him in basically one pass. Didn't even get to the pass part. We blew him up at range. 144 prestige is our reward. Empire defense is down to 65. Kronos, it will fall. Maybe not today, but it will fall. And an asteroid base assault preparing for the long-range siege. I wonder if we're actually going to face any sort of dreadnought. I'm just going to do a quick check. We are heading off into the left side of the map, so in case we get lost, we'll know which direction the asteroid base is actually supposed to be. I'm not going to bother with the shuttles because, honestly, our 9 missiles are better than the 6 missiles we got out of a single scatter pack. And generally, the 6 missiles wouldn't get through the enemy defenses anyway. So we're going to go maximum electronic countermeasure, maximum forward shield, and reinforce, and prepare. So also, this is going to be our last mission of the night. I know we started late, and so we had less time for that. I'm going to see if I can't find a little bit of time during the week in order to get another night going. Unfortunately, things came up, and I was unavoidably delayed, which happens quite a lot during the week, unfortunately. So, because Starfleet Command is our weekday thing, it tends to suffer the most from that sort of thing. But I am looking to try and make up more time for that. There may be a stream later this week, although I can't really guarantee that, unfortunately. So, let's go cruising in. You are not even potentially capable of stopping us. I'm not even going to bother overloading my phasers because I think I can kill you. I was wrong. Phasers. Overload the phasers. Make sure we hit them hard. And the photon torpedo. Didn't quite kill him, but that'll happen in relatively short order. We'll come back around. The phasers are on overload this time, so they absolutely will annihilate him. We'll probably actually even kill him from this long range. So all of his engine power, he's down to 2 on speed, which means because he's afraid he's spending 0.6 points of power. And now he's spending none. So I suppose he's become more energy efficient. Alright, let's go find that asteroid base. There it is. Way off in the corner. Now, I can't wade into his fire. 4 phaser 4s is still more than I can actually take to deal with, but our proximity photon torpedoes should mean that we should be able to take this on in relatively short order. Well, that's the hope anyway, cross your fingers. Photon torpedoes are fully charged and ready to rock, just as we came into range. And dealing a pretty decent amount of damage already. 12 damage, that means 3 of the photon torpedoes hit. Electronic countermeasure, come over to maximum ECCM. That'll be the primary system that we're concerned about, because defending against that isn't really a big deal. Oh, missiles, of course. He can't launch Wild Weasels, and he's only got 4 phaser 3s, so missiles ought to be able to do the trick here. Oh yes, very much the trick. It's like being the Marak without having to be the Marak. And... ooh, not quite dead, but very close. Phasers. For a nice little finishing him off. Alrighty, so that ought to be, what, 144 prestige? Couldn't have been all that much. We are, after all, Dreadnought, well, battleship. What are we dealing with? 124, so a little bit less. So the Empire defense of Kronos is down to 60. They are under our thumb, most certainly. We will have them probably next episode, just because of the amount of effort that we can throw into it. And once Kronos falls, there's like 2 more planets for the Klingons, and we'll really start chomping down on them quickly. We're then going to have to start figuring out what we want to do for our next stream campaign. As usual for the streams, anything's open. Whatever people want to see is what we will do. We'll have fun while doing it. But that's going to do it for today's stream. I know it's a little bit shorter than usual. Sorry about that. We're going to try and see if we can't make some time up during the week. I will definitely keep people updated on the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, the link is in the chat right now. I do use temporary links for now. At some point, I may put up a permanent link just to put at the bottom of all my videos. But for now, this is what we've got to work with. But yeah, anyway, I've been Tirek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to receive a notification every time there's more content. Press the little bell icon. Leave a comment as to what you'd like to see for the next campaign, or in general if you want to see anything on the stream, on either the stream or in the normal channel. And I will see you all in the next episode.